So this is the St Michael and All Angels Church in Alphington, which we're going to have a walk around in a minute. It's quite a busy road along here, so sorry for the noise from all the cars and the other traffic. Just outside you've got a small sort of green space. A very large tree here is an oak. I believe it's a red oak. Very nice tree. And that very lovely looking small shrub, tree technically, as it has one single trunk, is Witch Hazel, which everyone loves at this time of year. Very unusual flowers. Caught it at the right time. So now we're going to walk into the grounds. So like most church grounds, there's always a yew tree somewhere about. The hedges are Irish yew. Some nice steep steps to get up. So I'll quickly spin round so you can see more of the front. But yeah, these look a bit like shrubs, but they are Irish yew trees but have been cut back a bit. And then again, they've used them as hedging in this case. But if they're left to their own devices, they do become very tall trees. And rather than bushing out like common yew, they just become very tall. So as I said, at the very front, lots of Irish yew. And then making our way more towards the main part, we've got, that's common yew over there, and I believe that's a sycamore, looking at the formation. And then this fantastic specimen here, this is a lime tree, which I believe is a common lime, which is the taller of the three that we normally have in the UK. And it will get a lot taller than that. So again, a few more Irish yew shrubs here. Again, much the same. These sort of bushy looking shrubs, more Irish yew. And then you've got a type of cherry there. And this lovely tree is a strawberry tree, which we'll come back to in a minute because we're going to go all the way round. But yeah, the sun's in there. But that is a strawberry tree. Not many in Exeter, so it's lovely to have them. So now we'll go around the back part of the church. Again, that's the trunk of the lime tree, and then you've got the common yew, and then you've got a very young ash tree there, common ash. Oh. And then we have English oak, a smallish one. They do get a lot bigger, but nice to have one in the church grounds. Don't always get to see them. Again, the whole hedge, by the look of it, is mostly Irish yew, maybe a bit of conifer in there too, and maybe a type of box, but that's something I need to double check later. And this interesting fellow, which I haven't quite confirmed the ID on this one yet, so that's on my to-do list, but very lovely tree. Quite a lot's been cut off, but it still seems to be doing okay. So that's something for me to look at later. Again, if you know what that tree is, please put it on the comments. That would be much appreciated. As I said, I'm not an expert. This is just a very keen hobby I have. So I always try and ID the trees as best as I can, but there's many hybrids and different cultivars out there. So it is still very much a work in progress. This is a great example now. So these two trees, these are both yew trees, but now you can see the difference. So the one on the left is a common yew, a lot more bushy, gets a lot wider, can be a bit more messy. And then the Irish yew here is a lot, well, it's more narrow and will get taller, a lot easier to manage. So you tend to find out of the two, the Irish yew is normally better planted for hedging and cutting and that sort of thing. Other than that, they're very similar with their berries, flowers. Yew trees are dioecious, which makes them separate male and female trees. At this time of the year, I believe the common yew would have the yellow flowers making it the pollen, but I'd have to check that later. So we'll quickly go around the corner now. So a very nice decoration there, using different tree stumps. And a very special tree at the back here, because this is one of our Lucombe oaks, a young one. So Lucombe oak is a cross between Turkey and cork oak, sometimes coined the Exeter oak. So it is a natural hybrid, but down in this neck of the woods in Exeter, a very clever man discovered that, William Lucombe, and that's where the name comes from, Lucombe oak. So here we are. So the bark is, as you can see, quite corky and rough. That's part of the hybrid, because like I say, it's a cross between cork and Turkey oak, making this a semi-evergreen, because the Turkey oak is deciduous in nature and the cork oak is evergreen, and then the two crossed. So that's why these trees are a little bit special, because the parents, both oaks, one evergreen, one not, and then you get this very special hybrid. So some years they'll all be evergreen and sometimes they won't be. So that all depends on the weather. Of course, climate change being a big thing, that's gonna throw a few challenges for these hybrid trees. And then some type of cypress. Looks like we just missed the flowering season. And then probably the widest tree here, sorry for the camera there, is this beautiful tree, which is an oak. This is a Holm oak, so this is an evergreen oak, not native to this country, quite widely planted though. So we see a lot of these in parks and other spaces. There's a nice big one on Dix's Field in Exeter, which is city centre. But yeah, this is a real big one, this one. Just sort of appreciate how big it is when you get to the trunk. That's huge. So this has probably got a few years of history behind it. And you can see the sort of like evergreen leaves, sort of whiter underneath. And we're just coming to the edge now. So before I go around the corner to the strawberry tree, there's a lovely little garden. caper plant down there, look. That will get pretty big. Very good for the bees as well when it's in flower. A cherry tree, fortunately, I think that one is coming to the end. As you can see, it's been cut back quite a few times. And I did nearly forget the beech tree, which is right front there. So if left unchecked, that tree will get huge. So I'd imagine that will be managed at some point. So we'll go to the front now before it chucks it down. Okay, this is a good example. So this is a lime tree, but they've pollarded this one, so that's where you cut off the major limbs, so the really big branches and boughs, and then it reacts by sending out thousands and thousands of twigs and small branches. Some trees are okay with this, willows, and in this case lime. Not all trees will react so well, they will just die, so you have to be very careful with which trees have this particular method of management. So this is a lime. I'd imagine it's a common lime because they have a tendency to shoot out of the bottom, but it's not always easy to tell. It possibly a small or a large leaf lime, but for now I'll say it's a common lime. And this is the strawberry tree. So of all the trees in this lovely church grounds, this is probably the most unique tree. As I said, there aren't that many in Exeter, so it's not a native tree. When it's in flower, it has beautiful white bell-like flowers, very small. It flowers several times in the year that I've noticed. And the reason why it's called a strawberry tree is, as you can see, when the camera does focus, it has the cool fruit, which at the time it was coined strawberry tree based on how the fruits look a bit like a strawberry. But as I said, this is an evergreen tree, or in some cases a shrub. Doesn't get overly big, so quite easy to manage. As I said, seems to be good for the bees. When I've noticed it in flower, it's always got a lot of honeybees and bumblebees. You can just see a small holly, looks like a holly from here, that little one down there. So now you can get a better view of all the little Irish yew trees that they've managed. And you can get to see the rest of Alphington and bits of Exeter too. So in this church grounds, this tree, this common lime, is probably the tallest tree. Then the largest tree is probably that Holm oak, the evergreen oak we saw earlier. And then the most unique tree is probably going to be that strawberry tree. But yes, it's a lovely set of grounds. Lots of different shrubs and trees, and yeah, I think that's all there is for now. So I will probably review this again in the summer, but yeah, a lovely place. And you get to see the church now, as long as the sunlight's not in the camera. So any feedback welcome, you know, in the comments. You can put down your favourite tree, or if there's any ideas you think maybe if you know, anything they should be done differently. I'll quite happily pass the feedback to the people of the church. But yeah, as you can see, it's spring, so we've got the daffodils out. There was some hyacinths earlier, and it's going to look a real picture in the next few months of all the other trees and shrubs catching up. But yeah, a real nice set of grounds, and as I said, all this green helps offset all the carbon and pollution on this rather busy road, because it is a busy road. There's certainly no way you can say otherwise, because you've got a fairly big supermarket around the corner, so that also generates more traffic. But yeah, so that's St Michael's All Angels Church. Thanks for watching and listening.